hello, friends, and happy Friday. And thank you so much for joining us today. Today Greg has some really fun news to share with us in just a moment, and I'm here to keep you on top of all things business finance. As you know, my friends, we are here live and we are here for you. And so we love to encourage you to continue to, share positivity, share the show, and engage with us because we are live on many streaming platforms. So for those of you who are brand new to the show, hello, I am Winnie, longtime financial pro, CNBC and Forbes contributor and host of Level Up, which can also be found on NASDAQ and many other streaming platforms. But of course, you're probably really excited to also see Greg, and which I'm excited to see Greg. Greg, how you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you so much, Winnie. Yeah, it's great to see everybody here and be here as always on a Friday and talking to everyone. I do have some news. I focused it in a specific topic. It was robots. There's some robot stuff that I'm going to be talking about, but that and a lot more though. So thank you everybody for joining us again. If you don't know, I'm Greg Nibbler, longtime tech reporter. I'm also a host and reporter for Fox 12 Oregon and my show Fox 12 Now, where I cover a wide range of topics. Here I focus on the tech side of things and hopefully some fun stuff. Part of this show too, if it's your first time tuning in, we're interactive, so you can always let us know what you think about what we're talking about. Give us your comments, all of that. We appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I see CrossX Fighter there joining us. Part of my hair is sticking out the side, so that's part of the show too. Proves we're live. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about all this stuff. And as always, I look forward to hearing what Winnie has to say, keeping us up to date on everything.
Thank you. I try. I try to give you positive news. And yes, big shout out to CrossFit Fighters. Great to see you joining us live. This has been a pretty tough week, Greg, with the financial markets. I mean, some pretty rocky times. And like, I know that we're not a political show, so we're not going to go there, but obviously something really big happened yesterday. And so
Yeah.
I was waiting to see how that was going to trickle down into the markets today. So currently the Dow is in the positive, though, up about 160 points, about 159 points in the positive. Nasdaq though is down about 196 currently, and the S&P 500 is also down around 20 points currently. So it's definitely you're seeing some reaction to it. But overall, I will say compared to some Fridays, Greg, this Friday was a little bit lighter in terms of business news. I think definitely the news and the media were really honed in on the political front and what was happening over there. But some of the things that I did want to share with you are some of the changes that are coming. And today's sort of my theme, if you will, because I know Greg really loves to do robots, space, which those are like my favorite episodes that he does, and obviously his movie takes and show takes. But today I'm going to talk about food. All right. So Amazon has an update. In fact, they are now, for those of you who are Amazon Prime members, which I know Greg is one, well, Prime has just announced that they're going to enhance their membership with permanent Grubhub subscription. And get this, we're also going to be talking a little about drones. And of course, I'm sure Greg's going to share even more about that. But so Annie Palmer on CNBC talked about, she reported about Amazon Prime, which now is going to include this new permanent feature, which they said is going to enhance the $139 a year membership benefit for those of you who subscribe to Prime. Now, Prime members are now going to enjoy free delivery on all Grubhub orders over $12. And this was previously offered as a year-long subscription, but now it will be free if you have Prime. Now, non-Prime members can also place these Grubhub orders directly through Amazon's website and, of course, their mobile app as well. But Amazon is saying they're trying to do this to attract and, of course, keep their Prime members happy, and also to make sure that they kind of hold their strength of position against competitors such as Target and Walmart and their loyalty programs. So Amazon Prime, in addition to their fast shipping and other benefits, they're saying that this they think is going to be the future, because I guess many of us that when we do go eat out, we like to have it delivered, and so it makes things a little bit more convenient. My thinking is this: I appreciate things that are free delivery for sure, but let's be honest, most things aren't quite free. Somehow, it gets billed in, and the price of the food itself increases in cost. And then, of course, you've got to make sure that you tip your driver, of course, your delivery person. That's the cost. So Yeah, so I think that's like not quite free, Greg. I don't know about you, Greg. I mean, do you feel like this is something that you're going to take advantage of? Because I know you have Amazon Prime.
You have Amazon Prime, and I'll take advantage of it, but you're right that nothing is actually absolutely free because the prices are a little more. There'll be a service charge. I think we have a city charge that goes into it. So, but I like the fact that that's, a one benefit that they can throw in there.
Yeah.
I definitely think, it's more stuff, certainly. And for Amazon and Grubhub, I mean, it'll probably put a lot of people towards Grubhub versus some of the other food delivery services. So I would imagine, just because it's free.
Yeah, it's kind of brilliant. It's kind of brilliant, these companies that do this. I mean, we know like from Costco and Sam's Club, like these warehouse stores have done this like membership, kind of style business. And now Amazon Prime, definitely a membership type of benefit. Like Walmart has Walmart Plus. I mean, it's like you're paying for convenience, but you're also, because you're paying, they also increase loyalty, and they have a determined audience that is spending continuously every month. So it's pretty brilliant. But
Yeah.
speaking of things brilliant, this is where I think, Greg, I really want to get your take on this because I thought this was pretty cool. So not only are we talking Grubhub, but now Amazon, of course, talking about drone delivery, which is now following FAA approval, getting regulatory clearance. Now, I guess it's coming to a neighborhood near you. So they're going to be doing Amazon Air drone delivery services to more areas here in the United States, starting with College Station, Texas. So for those of you who are leaving town and going to be going to school in Station, Texas, I think this is something that might be pretty cool to see up in the sky. But Amazon's drones, they say, are going to be equipped with these collision avoidance technology. That's a mouthful. To avoid and, of course, detect obstacles. I mean, I'm hoping it includes birds and things like that. But they're saying it's crucial for like long distance flights, and of course they've dealt with a lot of regulatory hurdles, and but now it's going to take place, and it's going to start in College Station, Texas, and then it's going to go to Phoenix, Arizona, and I think it's cool. I don't know, Greg. I mean, you know way more about drones than I do. So, what are your
I'm
thoughts on
I
this?
mean, I'm definitely excited to see drone deliveries. I think it's cool. There are a lot of issues that could come up that still need to be worked out. And I think it's like the technology is there. I'm sure they've been able to do this accurately probably for a while, but those regulatory hurdles, that's what's going to keep that from happening quick. And some of it's for good reason. I mean, there's privacy concerns that people are going to have of a drone flying over your house, if it has a camera on it. There are people that'll be concerned about that. There's maybe the noise a little bit. And then also that collision avoidance. That's where once you get a whole bunch of these
I know.
going around, that's where, yeah, that's where that technology is going to be really, really important. But as far as the ease of delivery, I mean, imagine, not having to have something go through traffic and dealing with all that.
Yeah.
You could just go directly from a warehouse to you. It'd be so fast, or a restaurant or whatever it is that you're getting. I
Mhm.
mean, the speed is going to be amazing.
That'll be
That's going to
amazing.
be what's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's gonna be some things they can't deliver via drone as this time, right? Like, you're not gonna
Right.
get a dishwasher delivered to you or anything something
Yeah, I don't
too
want anything hauling
yeah,
that over my head. I don't want a dishwasher
right,
flying overhead.
right. But,
Yeah.
like you
But a
said, if it's
burrito, yeah.
food
I'll take a
yeah, if
burrito.
it's a burrito, or let's say you need another pair of socks from Amazon, I mean, that sounds
Right.
really reasonable, and yeah.
Yeah.
So Amazon's pretty excited about this. I guess, this is sort of that significant step for them to revolutionize package delivery. And like Greg said, I mean, getting it faster, easier. Hopefully, it doesn't cost more. But they're saying that this, of course, one of the things they do see this replacing, unfortunately, is people, because Amazon has definitely had layoffs and some restructuring, but they continue to invest in Prime Air. So a lot of this technology versus regular human labor costs, I guess. All right. Speaking of more things food, and this is my last story before I hand the baton over to Greg, I want to talk about McDonald's. Now, McDonald's, get this. If you didn't know already, now this is reported on CBS News, in fact, by Christopher Brooks, talking about an $18 Big Mac meal. Yeah, you heard that right. $18 Big Mac. I mean, I feel like we've always known McDonald's as fast food, but not just fast food, but really typically cheap fast food. But Yeah, get this. So the Big Mac price is now $5.29, up 21%. And not only that, but like we're talking like the Egg McMuffin, which is really popular for breakfast, up 23%. Get this. For those of you who have kids like me, okay, 10-piece chicken nuggets, and I know adults love chicken nuggets too, but 10-piece chicken nuggets, that meal is up 28%. So McDonald's, goodness, I don't know, Greg. I mean, did you ever think an $18 meal from McDonald's, a Big Mac meal?
I'm not going to pay $18 for a Big Mac meal. That's just not going
Yeah.
to happen.
That's
So,
crazy, right?
yeah, that's
So
crazy. I
a
mean,
meal is like 3 things, right? Isn't it the burger, the french fry, and the drink?
yeah, yeah.
Is
And
there
they're saying
something
that's
else in this meal?
$18. Like, no, no, thank you. Like, what am I paying for that? I mean, I know everything's getting expensive and it does. Prices have gone up on a lot of things, but for $18, I can get a pretty decent meal at an actual restaurant. So
Yeah,
I'd rather spend my money there if I'm going to spend $18 on lunch, you know?
I'm pretty sure In-N-Out is less than $18 for a meal. Um, let me know for those who are
Yeah.
tuning in. Like, I feel like there's like what could you get for $18? Because I mean, the last time I haven't had McDonald's in a long time, but I remember when the last time I was like, we were kind of surprised how small the burgers were, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Yeah.
considering that all these different markets and what are reducing their grocery store costs,
Right.
McDonald's, I don't know if that's such a, and they're saying they're planning a limited time $5 meal promotion just to get those budget conscious customers over. So you got a $5 meal and an $18 meal. Like, how different is that experience?
Right. Yeah. What is the change? I mean, I don't feel like anybody's going to McDonald's for like fine dining. Or unless that's really somebody's thing, that's what it is. But $18 just seems like that's way too much. Whoever's going to be paying for that. Um,
Right?
but yeah, we'll see.
Well, it's
Um,
interesting, like, Greg, I mean, KABC News actually just reported that they did it. They had this survey result that they shared through Lending Tree, and I remember reading they said like 80% of those Americans who they surveyed actually now consider fast food a luxury due to financial struggles.
it's
So maybe
expensive.
McDonald's is leaning into that. Well, like
Yeah,
McDonald's,
well, maybe that's it. Saying it's a luxury experience. I mean, maybe every now and then, like once a month or so, I may swing by a Taco Bell around here. I'm not saying I did, but sometimes I do, and it's expensive too.
it's
It's
expensive,
like,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's gone way up.
I think
Not
like
that I'm going there.
yeah, I think that like In-N-Out's still reasonable here. I think Panda Express is really reasonable. But like, yeah, food
Yeah,
is just expensive now.
everything's expensive. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's the
everything's
bottom
expensive.
line. It's all expensive. Um, yeah, but that's definitely interesting. So we got that, but I guess you can get it free on Grubhub or delivery free.
Delivery at least, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to
What do
do
you
that.
what do you have for us today, Greg?
All right, I've got a little bit, and I will say for everybody watching, yes, that is my screen flickering a little bit. So I don't know, something in the machine today, but that's not on your end, that's on my end. So I just wanted to just address it right there. But I do have some stuff about robots, and the first thing I wanted to bring up has to do with race cars. If there's a lot of fans of racing, particularly like IndyCar racing is what I'm talking about here, or F1, there is now robotic cars. So there's something called the Indy autonomous races, which have happened before. This is a little bit different, but it still follows along along those lines. And this is the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League, and this just showcasing another example of where robotics are now being brought into the world of sports, and this side in particular. So these are full-size cars, but they are robotics that are controlling them. It's got LiDAR on them, so various different sensing cameras and software and things to detect the other cars around them. They race, and some of the reviews of it are, it's actually pretty entertaining, but it is still kind of weird that there's not a driver in there. But this is where we're heading with this. And this is one example of several different kinds of things like this that are happening. There's also going to be, going back to the drone side of things, autonomous drone races. You're going to have flying car races. But looking at this from the robotic side of robots racing cars, I'm curious what people think about that. If that's something that you would be interested in watching. To me, it takes away a little bit of that element of, the human factor. that goes into that and the skill that's needed for it. But at the same time, this just transfers the skills onto the programmer, onto the person putting the machinery together. It still is a working vehicle. But yeah, this is something that we're going to be seeing more and more of these of robotics entering into the world of sports. And Winnie, I don't know if this is something that you would watch, but I think learning more about how this stuff works is it's interesting to see where it all comes out. And it's also something that when you have this kind of technology being utilized and all of this detection software to keep these things from running into each other, eventually maybe that's something we could see in our own cars. That's more for that collision avoidance side of
Yeah.
things.
Well,
I
I'm
think
looking at this. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, that's nice to have that kind of money to play with these
yeah,
toys.
right.
But then, yeah, I was curious too because I saw the headline that was shared right during the story, and it said something about terrible. So I'm like, that's interesting. The
Yeah.
word terrible, like, why is it terrible? But yeah, I mean, I guess all this technology needs to be tested somewhere since we can't use it to really drive our own cars. I guess if they want to play with these cars on the racetrack. I mean, better than to have
Yeah.
people get hurt, so
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, people are getting hurt on it at least, but yeah, that's one of the big things that people were talking about this week is just how that's changing. And again, there's the Indy autonomous races, which have been around for a few years now, and
Mhm.
they are entertaining, just to see the technology side.
It is
Uh,
cool, huh?
But yeah, I don't know if I would go. I don't know if I would necessarily pay to go to an event where it was just that. I don't know if
Probably
that's something, that would be as exciting to me that takes away that human element, but we'll see where it goes. I mean, eventually I think we're going to end up with robotic umpires in baseball. We're going to have robotic referees, I think that could be the way things are heading. But for right now, I like a little bit of humans in sports.
yeah, I'm with you. I think the day of, like, robotic, referees, and I feel like that's sad, Greg. I kinda like
Yeah.
seeing, that I feel like they're part of the experience.
Yeah. The human factor in there. Sometimes they're right.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're wrong, but that's part of
That's part of it, yeah,
yeah,
because
part of it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, we'll see. So I just want to call attention to that one. Um, and I've got just a couple other ones here. So the next one I wanted to bring up, this is actually a really cool use case of AI and robotics, and it's for people who are blind. And seeing eye dogs are fantastic, but not everybody's able to get one. There's only so many out there, so it takes a while sometimes. This is something that excuse me, could actually help replace a cane or a seeing eye dog, or at least be a supplement for that when somebody doesn't have one of the other ones. And this is what it is. So you can see it right there on the screen. It's basically like a little roller on the cane, and it has detection software in it. So that is how it's guiding somebody around. It's called the Glide, instead of guide dog, the Glide. And it looks like a little, almost like a push broom, but this is a way that you can get something like this into the hands of a lot more people, and utilizing that robotics and AI to help out. And I think I think that anytime we see this kind of technology being utilized, to me, I think that's fantastic of seeing something that's going to help improve somebody's life. That's potentially a good use case. I would love to hear from some people who are visually impaired, how they feel about that, and if this is something that they would use. But I think even just going along these lines and finding different ways for tech to help improve, someone who can't see, or maybe even going into the things where people can't hear, or are different issues that people may have, finding use cases for robotics and AI like this, that's always the positive for me. Positive use case of that stuff. And I'm definitely interested to see or to hear what people think about that. But kind of a cool thing. I think having that ability to utilize that, bring that out, and it's portable. You push it yourself, so like the battery power, I guess, is pretty good on it. But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool use case of technology.
So, Greg, let me ask you this. Is it the concept that this would replace, let's say, a seeing eye dog or something like that?
Yeah, the idea would be that this would be a replacement or a supplement for something like that. If somebody doesn't have access to a seeing eye dog or a
Mm.
cane, this would be another way that they could do that and navigate safely around streets and obstacles.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, I will say that I do think that, the traditional cane, I
Mhm.
like seeing new enhancements to it because I do know that there are certainly, aging population. I've talked to a lot of seniors who just don't want to use the cane. They
Yeah.
feel like it makes them look old. They feel
Yeah.
like it's not that, product not that easy to use. But if you were to make something that's easier to use and looks cool, I do think it would help a lot of people who have mobility issues.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm looking at, just a couple of statistics here. They said there's only about 10,000 seeing eye dogs, that are available every year, but there's
Oh,
7.6
wow.
million people that are visually impaired.
Wow.
And, and dogs cost a lot. Canes, um,
Mhm.
some people don't want to use a cane, but this could also be something somebody could use just around their house. If they
Yeah,
don't want
for
to use it
sure.
in public, that could be a better option than a cane to help navigate to your kitchen,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
having, yeah. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. How convenient would this be to have around the house, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it slides, so it's not like you have to pick it up and put it down every time. It's got
Mhm.
wheels on it, so you can put a little pressure on it and have that yeah, it just seems like it seems like it would be a good, useful tool, even if somebody doesn't wanna bring it outside, or they're, self-conscious or don't wanna have that out in the world, just around the house even, you know,
Right.
just to help out. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty cool. So I wanted to call attention to that, because I think using something like that would be great. I've got one more, and this is this is something that everybody would, in theory, be able to use. If you've got all your 5 of your fingers, what about a 6th one? How about an extra thumb? That is what this study is from Cambridge, and it's using robotics to give an extra thumb so that you can grab more things. As you can see there, you can hold both halves of the orange. Obviously, that's what we all want to do, and can't do that without the extra thumb. But it's studying how people interact with that and what they would use it for. So, clearly makes it easier to take the soda off. You can cheat at cards better. Uh, but you know, I I think it's kind of
This is
fascinating
so
seeing that
weird.
because we've seen a lot of different robotic. This just looks so weird.
I don't know, Greg. I don't know. I don't know about this one.
Woody, you don't want an extra thumb?
This is a little okay, tell me, because I see a lot of you. I see a lot of we have a very, very big audience today. Tell me about you gotta tell me yes or no on the 6th finger. We're gonna take a vote here.
Yeah. Would you want to use this? I mean, look how many wine glasses they can hold. Like, I love how it's all like different games and things that they're showing you to use it. Oh yeah, way easier to stir things and move things around. Um, it I love this kind of tech in that people are exploring different maybe solutions to problems that aren't there. Maybe it does make you so much more efficient. I you know, perhaps it
I woke up yesterday and I was just thinking, if only I had a 6th finger, I
man,
could lift
yeah.
the other half of my orange.
Yeah, it's like, both halves of this orange right now. Life would be so much better if I could do that. Or if I could if I could shuffle cards so much quicker
What
with my
what if
extra
you
thumb.
go on a Tinder date and the person shows up with a 6 finger?
Yeah, I think the early adopters of this are gonna be a little dorky. Uh,
And I don't think many, competitions or yet crossing fingers, extra hand would be nice.
yeah, there are robotics for that too. I've
I
seen some
can
of those
see
things with
I
some
can see
extra
the
hand.
comedy skits about this technology,
Yeah,
Greg. It would be epic.
yeah, yeah. Um,
"What are you doing there?" "Oh, I'm just playing with my 6 finger."
yep. Oh, look how easy it is to thread a needle. That still looks hard, even with the extra thumb
Yeah.
for threading a needle in there. Yeah. So, let us know if you would want to use this extra thumb for anything.
Hmm.
I do think the study of it, that's pretty cool. But there's so many different studies out there for enhancing the human body um with different robotics, whether
Yeah.
it's a mech suit or something that you can lift, 400 pounds, just like it really easy, or uh, different things to accent for eyesight. But this an extra thumb. I didn't know that's a problem that needed to be solved.
I mean, why stop there? Why don't you give everybody a 6-toe and
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I don't have to get special shoes now. New gloves. The whole glove industry can start because of this thumb. So we'll see where it all goes. But that's what people are working on.
I love this show.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that to everybody. But yeah, that's the big one. An extra thumb.
An extra thumb. I mean, I feel like that's the way to end the Friday, Greg. You did it. I want to say we gotta give it applause for that one. That was awesome, Greg. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and definitely let us know your thoughts. Would you want an extra 6 finger? And if yes, what would you do with your? Okay, maybe we don't want to know the answer to that.
Yeah, we're opening ourselves up there on the internet.
Yeah, just let us know yes or no. Would you want a 6 finger? Let's just leave it at that. But with that, it has been such a treat, Greg, to spend this time with you. And yeah, what a really fun show we had. But I wanted to say, Greg, we were a little tatty bit late today to this show, and I don't know if you want to tease, and because the In the Loop family, we are a family, and like you had something really cool happen today, and I was gonna pressure you to share with our friends here what that is and where
I can give a tease of this. So I was late today because I had an interview for my show Fox 12 Now, where I was interviewing John Malkovich. John Malkovich and Alexei, I'm going to mess up his last name, so I'm not going to say it, but Alexei, the composer. So they're both coming to Portland for
something. Just eat it at that. Something.
I'll leave it at that.
But yeah, you'll want to tune into the episode, just like I want to tune in the episode. So the question is, Greg, the $1 million question is, where do we go to follow your show there?
I will post it on Twitter when this does go live. So this is not live yet, but it'll be part of my Fox 12 show. And once that goes live, I'll post it on Twitter. So follow me at Greg Nibbler, and I'll make sure that I put it right up there as soon as that airs. I think it's pretty cool. I think people will find it interesting.
They'll find it interesting. And you can, put in comments your favorite movie of his and what performance or what character you enjoyed. And yeah, see, I'm always looking out for you. That's why I made Greg tease this for everybody, because you want to know, right? And I was like, Greg, we need to share this.
It's true. When he did, yeah, and I appreciate the pressure to tease this. It's a good thing.
Well, you're doing such an awesome job, Greg, on the show in Portland. I just think I'm sure many people will want to catch that show, and so there'll be a good chance. But yeah, I follow. The easiest place to do is to follow Greg, and that's at Greg Nibbler on X, previously known as Twitter, and we'll make sure to do that because I think that's pretty cool. My question is, Greg, like what did he wear? Like, did he have hair? Was he? That's what I'm gonna tune.
Gotta wait to find out.
Yeah, find out about that.
Awesome.
But thank you everybody for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Winnie, and thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate all of you, and everybody have a great weekend. And yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, and special thank you to Tim for stepping in this week. It's great to have everybody, and then we'll see you very soon. Take care.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.